It's Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, and today I'm selling my truck. It's true, time's come. I honestly thought that I'd be driving this for, a good 10 to 15 years. And honestly, if I were still like full-time content creation working from home, I would. There's really no reason for me to sell it other than now that I'm not working at home and I'm driving downtown every day to my dad's warehouse, and I'm doing sales now. I'm driving a lot more and it's just not economical. A, fuel mileage is horrible in this thing comparatively to a car. And B, it's just a pain in the butt to get in and out of. It is what it is. Like, I test drove a couple cars yesterday and oh my gosh, I forgot how nice it is in a car versus a truck. Don't get me wrong, there's pros and cons. There's a time and place for a truck like this. If I was still riding dirt bikes, if I still had a trailer, if we were even just going camping on a regular basis, again, I'd have a need for a truck like this. I just don't have the need for it. All I'm doing is using it for work, which I'm kind of like, don't want to do that anyways. I'm putting way more wear and tear on it, using it to haul stuff and do deliveries and stuff in. I went and got an appraisal on the truck. I'm getting top dollar for it because it's a Toyota and they hold their value. Even with the slight dings and scratches that I've got on it and some of the maintenance that needs to be done on it, I'm getting top dollar for it because it's that hot of a commodity. So pretty stoked about that. So the number one question on your mind right now, what are you gonna get, Clint? Well, let me tell you, I'm headed to CarMax because that's where we sold Tiffany's car and got a smoking deal on that to sell this. And I was looking at the cars that they have available and they actually have some pretty decent cars. So I went and test drove a couple different ones. I'm gonna go back and look at the numbers and compare two cars and make my final decision based on just kind of comparing numbers to numbers. I will admit though, I'm not excited to have a car payment again. If I can get a car for say $300 a month, I'd be happy. So we'll see, stay tuned. All right, so this is it, cleaning it out. I got the center console all done. Now I'm just pulling out like the road hazard stuff, jumper cables, glass brake, flares, that sort of thing. Clean that out. And that's all she wrote. Say goodbye to the Tundra. It's been a great 8 years, buddy. Lots of memories in here. All the years of camping, tent camping, towing the trailer, Lolomai, road trip. It's probably as of right now, my favorite vehicle I've ever owned. All right, fast forward a few hours later, signed all the paperwork, got home, checked in with Tiffany, Sierra, Bryce, took them for the drive in the new car, got back in the house, read the manual, figured out what features my car has, because obviously different trims, different styles come with different features, so I kind of figured out what my car has. Kind of bummed this car has certain features. I'm like, oh, does my car have that? Oh, does my car have that? Unfortunately, it doesn't have some of the coolest features. But I've driven it now a couple different times. I just dropped off Bryce at basketball practice. I'm very happy. Granted, it's only been a couple of hours, but so far, so good. Are you guys ready to see it? Nothing too exciting. Total dad car. Drum roll, please. Clintus's new car is a 2020 Chevy Malibu. Like I said, dad car? I think it's a dad car. Yeah. So there it is. 4-door sedan, full-size sedan. Chevy Malibu, right? Alloy wheels. It's the limited. I think it's a limited. LT. Yeah, it's the LT. So it's got some nice features. Remote start, which I'm very excited about, especially right now in the summertime when it's wicked hot. I get to start the car from the inside of the house and let it run for a couple minutes and cool it off. So I'm very excited about that. Apple CarPlay. That was the absolute minimum requirement that I asked for when I was looking at cars. Is it has to have Apple CarPlay. And so just in one drive, it's so nice to have my maps and everything built into it and have some apps built in. It's really, really cool. But yeah, it's nice. And it gets 35 miles to the gallon, which is over twice as much as my truck got. So that was the big thing too, is I wanted good gas mileage. Again, that was the reason why I got this, is I'm driving so much now to work as well as for work, doing sales and whatnot. So yeah, check it out.
Nothing fancy, nothing special. It's used, but I got a good deal on it. I'm very happy with my payment. No major blemishes or dings and ditch. There's obviously a couple of little like chips in the paint, just superficial, tiny little things. I'm gonna run it through a nice wash and get it detailed, so I can kind of see the full spectrum on it. But this is really the only. My truck had that, so like literally don't care. My truck has that. Someone like hit it with their door or something, But yeah, I'm happy. It's got darker tint than my truck did. So there you go. I'm a Malibu driver. If you see me rolling, honk your horn. It's my first time driving a car, like an actual car, in almost 20 years. I had my GMC Sierra for 9 years, and I've had the Tundra for 8.5. So almost 20 years since I owned a car. So it's definitely a different feeling, but I like it. I said this yesterday when I went and test drove these. I was like, I like the feel of a car. It's been a long time, and I don't know. It feels good. And I was ready for a car. I was telling Tiffany, like, my next vehicle was going to most likely be a car. I said I could probably do an SUV. I don't know if I do a crossover. It's either going to be a car or SUV. I don't want the in between like she's got. But yeah, been driving this thing a little bit here and there tonight, and I really like it. I'm very happy. It's such a smooth ride. It's got a little turbo. It's technically got a turbo. It's not very powerful, obviously. It's a 4-cylinder, but I can tell the difference compared to like Sierra's car, which is a 4-cylinder, or Tiffany's, which is technically a hybrid 4-cylinder. I'm happy, man. I'm really digging it. It might just be the newness right now. We'll check back in a month and see if I'm still loving it. But so far, I'm very happy with my purchase. All right, well, it's the next day. I've driven it to work. I drove it a little bit to run a couple errands. Now I'm on my way towards home, but I'm doing some sales along the way. Which again, main reason why I got this is the fuel economy and just the ease and comfort of getting in and out of it. But yeah, I'm really liking it. Like I said, I'm really just enjoying being in a car again, the feel of it versus the truck. I even drove one of the vans today, which it's up, sits like my truck, drives like my truck, and yeah, immediately was like, oh yeah, no, I definitely prefer this over that. And the timing worked out because if I'm being honest, I was about to drop a lot of money on my truck. I needed it to replace a tire. I needed an oil change. One of the sensors in one of the tires is out. I need to replace the sensors, and it's a full set, so it's like $100 plus labor if I have someone else do it, which I would have someone else do it. I never really told you guys. I told people on stream, so if you're on stream, and some of my close friends knew, but I sideswiped a pole coming out of a parking lot for work. So that's the thing that stings the most is the damage was caused because I was using my vehicle for work. But I sideswiped a pole that was lower than my window, so I didn't see it. Circumstances were there. I turned into it and just sideswiped it and just scraped and dented the side of my truck. I was devastated because, aside from the little ding that Sierra got, the truck was pretty much mint condition, flawless condition, right? Like the trailer, right? Literally the weekend we were going to sell it, I bent the steps going to the bathroom. I was so pissed. I was like, we've had this trailer for 6 effing years, and I've never damaged one thing. And the weekend I go to sell it, I was so pissed. And like my truck was the same way. It's like the moment I started talking to Tiffany, like, I'm thinking about selling the truck and getting a car, more fuel economy, something easier to get in and out of, blah blah. Like 2 weeks later, I do that. I was like, oh my god. So anyway, but back to my point, the truck needed a bunch of money put into it, like relatively quickly. Like, there was a check engine light too. So check engine light, I went to AutoZone, got the code checked. They were like, oh, it's a gas cap. You need a new gas cap. Okay, got a new gas cap. Nope, didn't clear the code. Went back, same code, but then they scroll down and there's a whole nother section. Basically, I had like a leak in the emissions, whatever they test your gas cap for, when you go to do emissions, and whatever that was, that's what I needed to get fixed. And I have no idea what that was going to cost because I didn't even go to the dealer to get it checked out. But that was another thing. So there were 5 things that
I needed to put money into the truck. And so I was like, now's the time to sell this thing and just be done with it and not put any more money into it. Let's go get a car. So here we are in my Chevy Malibu. And now every time I think of my car, or every time I say my car, like, oh, I have a Chevy Malibu, I immediately think of that Swayze song with Dirty Heads. And it's like, Malibu on the way to Malibu. Like that just every time now, which I love that song. I listen to that song all the time. It's called Too Late by Swayze featuring Dirty Heads. I love it. And there's that line in that song where I'm just like,